processing trauma and having an overexcitability of the lizard brain and the mammalian brain, then what that does is it gives you less ability to use your rational frame of mindset from the prefrontal cortex to make conscious decisions, and you're actually probably more being reactive than analytical, I think, at that point in time.
Yep. And the way that I would just say it slightly differently is we're being reactive as opposed to thoughtfully responsive.
Thoughtfully responsive. I didn't want to say proactive, but yeah, that's a great way to say it. So thoughtfully responsive. Now, in your research, because it sounds like a lot of this is really below the surface, right? It's the iceberg, and all these things are happening. Can we shift our mindsets over time? Can we consciously shape them?
This is why I love focusing on mindsets. So if we've got uh, if we look at all the different attributes about ourselves and we stack them up in order of at the bottom really unstable traits and at the top is really stable traits. So at the bottom we'd have things like emotions and moods and attitudes, because those are things that we could change really quickly. At the top we would have things closer to akin of intelligence, personality traits. I'm not saying we can't change those. They're just much more difficult to change. And I would say that most leadership development focuses on those top levels, which are actually things that we can't really change over time. That we're just limited. And those are what we call our innate traits. Mindsets fall in the middle. So these are semi-stable traits. We can change them. They're not as easy to change as moods and emotions, but once we do change, they have a tendency to stick around for a while. And these are what we call our learned traits. And so I love focusing on mindsets, because as we develop our mindsets and improve our mindsets, not only does that enhance ourselves right there, but then it enhances our ability to more effectively tap into our innate traits. So for example, there's some people who consider charisma to be an innate trait, a personality attribute. Well, who's going to be more effective? Somebody that is charismatic and has an open mindset, or somebody who's charismatic and has a closed mindset? Well, the person is going to be more effective. So we get more out of who we are as we improve our mindset. So I think that mindsets it's not the only thing to focus on in terms of development, but it is probably the most important element. And at the same time, it's probably the most overlooked element.
I'm